Hi, welcome. How are you, Heather? Welcome. Good to see you. We're gonna do a love spell today. We're gonna activate our heart chakra, open up our heart chakra, and call in some love today. If you have a white candle, a tea candle, any candle, and any rose quartz, you will want these items today if you have them. You don't, it's no big deal if you don't have them. You can just visualize them, but we're gonna do a little Venus Day opening of the heart activation in a little bit. That is what is on the agenda. We're going to use the spell casting oracle. I pulled this card last Friday for a client, and the spell on the card said to do this spell during a full moon on a Friday. And I was like, whoa, next week is going to be within the full moon cycle, so you should do that, activation for yourself. So I decided I would do it with the collective today. I charged this yesterday during my full moon ritual, and basically the activation will happen today. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, oh, you're doing heart and root Reiki, that's so perfect. If that's something you're interested in, we're going to be doing that pretty soon, and I will let you know again what you will need for it. But I'm just kind of letting people arrive so that everybody that wants to participate in the heart chakra opening is here. And also, because we're going to do some spell work, I'm going to clear and just prepare the energy. If you have any kind of purification that you do for yourself, any cleansing, I use holy water. I usually just give myself a spray. This actually comes from Sedona. It's almost gone. I'm just gonna make my own after this is gone, but I got this from Sedona a while ago, and I use that for my purifying and cleansing. So if you have any purifying or cleansing rituals that you do, any practices that you use, hopefully you're respectful of closed practices and you do something that resonates with your heritage and your belief system. But if you want to do that, you can do that. And after that, we're going to do the activation. And I'm just kind of cleansing. This is a selenite wand, and we're just getting ready to be open to the energy. All right, so before we get started on the activation, let's just pull a few cards about love and the divine connection. Okay, so this is the connection between the masculine and feminine energy, expressed within self first, and then of course expressed externally. Wow, I got a reversal. I don't have reversals in this deck. Of course, I just saw Romeo and Juliet when I was flipped the deck over. All right, so we're gonna get 3 cards. We're gonna get where we have been, where we currently are, and where we are going. And after this, we will do our heart chakra opening and activation. Okay. I want to get another card for where we are going because it's kind of leaves me on a cliffhanger. Oh, I love my job. I love my job. Okay, if you are, if you're not able to stay for the full collective reading today, it will be posted as a replay on YouTube, so you'll be able to do the activation later. So if you do not have a candle, it can be any colored candle. Pink is great for this activation. You can also just use a white candle. You can put a pink ribbon around it, or pink in like glitter, and you don't even have to have the pink out. I don't have pink today, but it's just for the color frequency of the heart chakra. And then a rose quartz. And you can also just visualize these items. You don't have to have them, but it's just nice to have. The whole thing about ritual is that when we do things in the physical, it just kind of solidifies the pathways in our brain during what we're doing. It's, for some reasons, humans respond well to pretending something or playing something. It's of course 1:11 when I just looked at the clock. We just seem to respond well to that energy. So if you have that, a pink crystal, a rose quartz, you can hold anything, a pink flower, it doesn't matter, but just something to help you ground and center while we're going to do the activation. Also I need to get my... Okay, so let's first look at the energy of where we have been in the divine connection. And this is both the masculine and feminine energy today that we are looking at. Me too, Heather. I've seen 111 so many times this week. Ace of Swords in reverse. And I don't have reversals in this deck, so that's significant to me. So we've been avoiding facing painful truths. That's one of the biggest things I see with a reversal on an Ace of Swords. We are not wanting to face painful truths, or someone in the connection has been withholding the truth or not communicating directly the truth. This is also not like having a difficult time releasing old thought patterns. So remember, this is where we have been. It's not where we currently are. It's what we've spent probably the last 6 months to a year working on. It can be even longer than that. But just releasing old self-concept, cutting it away, but feeling like it's difficult to be clear about the future or to like envision what we want. It's been hard, and we've had to work through that. So that's where the divine connection has been. Where are we now? I couldn't be happier. We have the High Priestess here from the Lover's Path Tarot. It's the Wisdom card. It's Scheherazade, and she is holding this book of wisdom. The High Priestess is intuitive. She can trust her intuition. This is associated with the twin flame dynamic because of the black and white pillars that are normally within the imagery associated with this card. It's about inner wisdom, guarding the inner sanctuary. Big trust issue card. We have really worked on trusting ourselves and trusting our intuition. And we've gained a lot of wisdom, because if you're refusing to face the truth, if you don't have clarity about your future, if it's difficult for you to communicate directly, that sets you up for some experiences that are not that fun. And through those experiences that were less than stellar, we've gained this deep inner wisdom. And there's a balance in this card. A balance between masculine and feminine energy. It's a beautiful energy. So truly in a beautiful place right now in current energy. Now, I had to pull another card to clarify, because where we are going, this didn't look like where we're going. Because for me, if we are here in this wisdom, trusting ourselves and our intuition, then heading to the Nine of Swords didn't really make any sense. And I knew that it was anxiousness about the future. And I was like, what are we anxious about? Because it kind of left me, I was like, but what is it that we're anxious about? And then I pulled the 10 of Cups. And so I really love this, because basically all we have to deal with now that we have finally, we're trusting ourselves, trusting our partner, trusting the connection. And the only thing we have to deal with now is the fear and anxiety that we can't have what we truly want or desire. That's where we're going. It's facing our fears, because and also very significant to have Cupid and Psyche here, because Cupid and Psyche, that's what the arrows or the swords in the Lover's Path Tarot represent. Cupid and Psyche, their story is a lot about trust. The division that happens between them is because Cupid asks Psyche to trust him. So this is love asking Psyche, right? Asking your intuition. You're like, it's so great. So Cupid asks Psyche to trust him. That he is who he says he is, and trust in the love, and to lay with him and, have fun in the dark. And then, but not to look at him. And I can't remember exactly why. There's a reason. And Venus, it's funny too that we pull Aphrodite's, basically her story in the cards today, because it is Venus's day. But, so she's jealous of Psyche and all the attention she gets. And so she told Cupid to make sure that she fell into a situation where she had, too many people interested in her and just basically have a bad time. And Cupid also fell in love with Psyche and was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to marry her. And he had to hide her away. So to protect her from Venus. And so he hides her away as a protective measure, and he's asking her to trust him. She can't know who he is. She just has to trust her intuition that he's really the one. And then as they're laying in bed together, he finally falls asleep. She doubts who he is, and she gets an oil lamp and shines it on him. And then when she sees it is her true love, she accidentally spills the oil and burns him. He wakes up, he's pissed. He was sleeping soundly and he just got burned. And he's pissed that she didn't trust him, didn't follow his commands really. And so he just flies away. But eventually they do end up being able to be together. But they have to overcome these trust issues. And so it's just so meaningful in the connection. It's, oh my God, it's just almost annoying. But we are trusting in the connection. Both masculine and feminine energy trust in this connection. So now all they have to do is trust that they can both handle the happiness that this connection brings. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm doing readings for $33 today. So I love this. I think that's an incredible reading. And now let's do our heart opening and activation. So I am using the spell casting oracle for this. And if you missed my intro to this little ritual we're going to do, I pulled this card for a client last Friday, and the instructions were to do this spell on a Friday during the full moon. So we're all going to activate this together. If you have within reach a candle of some kind and a rose quartz, you can grab those things. If you don't, that's okay. You can just be with us and visualize that you're participating. This is also going to be available for replay on YouTube later. So if you want to do it under the full moonlight later, you can go ahead and follow along later today. All right, let's get it lighter. All right, so let's first, if you have a purification ritual that you like to do, or you just want to imagine, stepping out of a cleansing salt bath or something like that, just start to relax and start to envision some kind of a cleansing that you're experiencing. You can walk through a waterfall. You can actually use, if you have a cleansing spray or incense or, whatever practice you do that's personal for you, go ahead and go ahead and start to cleanse the space, cleanse yourself, to prepare to open your heart chakra. I am going to, since I'm going to do this ritual, I'm actually going to cover my head, which is also symbolic for me if I'm doing a ritual. Also, I have a button today, so it's going to look funny. Look like Shahrazad. Look, I do. We're doing the Marilyn Monroe veil today. All right. So start to relax. I'm going to turn up this music a little more. This is a sound frequency for opening the heart chakra. Call in any protection for yourself, whatever modality you practice. And if you do have a candle, you can light your candle now. I'm going to hold my rose quartz in my left hand. And if you don't have a rose quartz, you can use anything pink, or you can just imagine that you have a rose quartz. Mine is actually a heart shape. And then I'm just going to go ahead and speak the words of the ritual. And then we're going to close with, I'm going to use Isis, but you can envision any divine feminine energy. We're going to close with a chant. So let's begin. Flowers of pink, crystals of rose, bring renewed romance, so I will not close. My beautiful heart, I'm longing to share compassion and kindness, to be gentle and fair. Desires recognized, I wish to ignite my passionate dreams so that I might attract beauty and love into my world. May deep the love mystery now be unfurled to bring about romance, kisses, and laughter, and be of my heart happily ever after. Attraction shines brightly, it fills up my heart. Love now surrounds me, never to part. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. Blessed Isis, give us peace, comfort us as we release. You can leave your candle burning if you like. If you do decide that you're going to put your candle out, it is usually recommended that you snuff it out if possible rather than blowing it out. And the spell will fully activate as it's initiated as soon as there's an intention. So it's already activated, but it will completely activate once the candle flame goes out. Either the candle burns down completely or you snuff it out will be the activation. So thank you for joining me for that activation today. And now we can get into some readings. If there are those of you who are subscribers, I will go ahead and pull 2 cards for you. If you want to get a 2-card reading today, you can go ahead and make sure you're following and then subscribe to my channel. And then I will read 2 cards for you today. And anytime I see you on a live, I will read 2 cards for you as long as you are a current subscriber. And if you would like a deeper reading, I am doing $33 readings today. And if you would like a private reading, you can click the link in my profile for a reading there. If you're watching this as a replay, please consider booking a private reading with me. I am really trying to call in the funds that I need right now, and I'm in need. So if anyone has been considering for a while, now is the time. For those of you that are interested in the 24-hour guided virtual retreat that's coming up on January 7th, we just finished the schedule. We went over the, yesterday we're finalizing the menu and making sure we have all of the items that you will need. When you do purchase a ticket for the event, you will receive a welcome packet that will have some activities for you to do before the retreat. So you'll already receive some reading material. There'll be some journaling you can do, because what I want to do is I want to give you the option to enjoy the retreat without having to do a lot of journaling and a lot of some people want to do that. They want to be immersed in it. They want to talk about what they've been journaling. They want to kind of do the emotional work, but others maybe just want a relaxation, just sort of the spa experience in their home that we're creating. And so I want to give you the option to do the journaling in the weeks before coming up to the retreat, so that day you can just be really immersed in the meditations and the visualizations, and you don't have to do a lot of writing if that's not something that you like to do. Others, they want the time to go and do the journaling, and it's going to give you the opportunity to do that. So I'm really trying to account for all personality types, all budgets. I'm keeping the cost of the retreat $100, even though it is including number of practitioners. I am making an option so that you don't have to spend any other money. Everything around your own house is going to be available to you. You don't have to make a huge investment other than just that initial $100 for the whole thing. And my goal is I'd like to continue to do these each month and keep that price point, and continue to offer that same, content to you each month. And then also, if you can't attend the live event, there will be a discounted pre-recorded version of everything that we did that day, so you can follow it along later at a discounted rate if 100 is a bit too much for your budget, because I want everybody to have a chance to have a virtual spa experience in their own home and learn how to create space for themselves. So that's all coming up. I'm excited about it. There's going to be 30 tickets available, so I will let you know as soon as the link is ready for you to be able to purchase the tickets to the event. Jindy, if you mean how to send me money for a personal reading right now, you can use the link in my profile, and there is a PayPal support button, there is a Venmo button, there is a Cash App button. And I'm so happy you like that, Chastity, thank you. And Jindy, did you have a particular question that you wanted me to answer for your 2-card pull? Hi Livy, if you would like a question answered, you can subscribe to my channel and I'll answer a question for you today. Keep in mind, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, Lindsay. Thank you. If you, Livy, yes, if you want to subscribe today, you'll receive 2-card reading, and then anytime you see me live, I'll read for you 2 cards when I have time. And today I'm making time just kind of exclusively for readings today. All right, so Jindy, let's get your general energy. Okay, so the 2 cards that came out for you today, we got the 3 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. So, waiting for someone to return. That's definitely, I see you just came back, Jindy. I know you were gone for a second. So the 3 of Wands and the 8 of Cups, waiting for somebody to return. Hi, Lindsay. Welcome back. It's interesting because in this card, we see the masculine waiting and looking out, and then there's this feminine energy staring at him. And I just am getting this sense of like, what are you waiting for? Like this conversation that's like, why are we waiting? Like we can see this potential, right? So why are we waiting? And then the 8 of Cups here, we see the feminine energy is the one that's lingering. So in this case, we see the feminine questioning, why are you waiting to come forward? And then in this card, we're seeing the feminine is lingering with something that is this masculine energy that looks like he's dead, like he's died, and she's still here. And this card, of course, is about going towards your higher calling. And it looks like it's really difficult for you to leave this masculine. It's almost like she's checking to see, does he have a pulse? You know, is he breathing? Because if he's still breathing, I'll hang around. If he's not, I mean, I guess I should go. But so I'm getting this sense of definitely waiting for something to happen, for some sign of life before you go on your way. And I get that. I get that so much. I think I've been doing this exact thing personally for the last year, like just being like, just show me a sign, just give me a sign that you're alive, that you want to talk to me, that you want to, you know. And it's funny because I'll get signs that he's paying attention or that he's watching or that he's interested, but then I'm just seeing him standing there and I'm like, okay, you like that bit? Okay, you like that bit. Is that all? So I feel like it's the same kind of thing where it's like, you don't know whether to go or to stay because there's this chance that this renewal might happen, that this rebirth might happen. But what I know about the 8 of Cups is that it's a card that's meant to be about us going towards our higher calling. And the kind of people that are in my collective, I know that expending all this energy on someone that is lifeless, I know they're squandering their gifts. I know that this, you know, their intuition is calling them to go towards their joy and happiness. In the traditional card, it's the sun and the moon together that you're walking towards. Your happiness, your dreams, the masculine and feminine energy that's, you know, within you, that's leading you away from focusing on things that aren't serving us. The 7 of Cups builds up. We have all these different choices. Nothing seems to really be clear about which one we should choose. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is choosing ourselves, choosing to love ourselves. And so as much as I've been in this energy with you, I think I've also been pretty good at mastering envisioning myself, which is the first step, going towards what is good for me, whether he gets up or not. He might not ever get up. Like, if he doesn't, I mean, that's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. It truly is just like, oh man, like, why? It doesn't make sense. Like, why don't you want to be happy? But then I see myself in this position and I have the same conversation with myself. Oh, this is so heartbreaking. Like, why are you doing this? Why don't you want to be happy? Like, why are you willing to wait for this person to get up and start speaking instead of going towards the people who are already living? You know, and maybe when you do that, he'll get his ass up because he's probably faking. He's scared and just playing dead. It was fight, flight, or freeze. He chose freeze. He's just lying there like, oh, she doesn't notice. And as soon as you start walking, he's like, no, wait, please come. I mean, we know the pattern, the cycle. So I guess the lesson then is you just keep walking. You just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Like, ask yourself, okay, where do I want to live? What do I want that life to look like? What do I want to be doing? You know, and just go there. And then if this person has the capacity to go where you're going, you'll meet them there. Like, they'll meet you there. And if they don't, you're going to run smack into somebody who's already there. And you're like, oh my God, you're alive and you're not playing dead? That's so new. I've been with somebody who's been playing dead for like 14 years, you know? So beautiful message. I'm going to claim this message too. But that was definitely for you there, Jindy. And then let's see, we've got some other people coming in here that are subscribers. Let's give them their messages. And I'm going to go for Heather's right now. She says, Pearl, I'd love messages on the new guy in my life, who's not the person that you considered your twin. Oop. And one of my best friends is named Andrew, and I love him. I know 3 Andrews really well, and all 3 of them are like so amazing. And then I know this one that really pissed me off. They're divisive. I'm glad you love that, Jindy. Oh, he's back, but he's wishy-washy, dead one day and alive the next. Yep, just keep going. Keep going your own way. If he'll either wake up and do what he needs to do, or he'll piss off and someone new will come through and you'll be done with that noise. Okay, Heather, we got for you the Ace of Coins and the Queen of Coins. So here's what this message is screaming to me right now. So you're asking about this new person and your spirit guides, your higher self, whatever source, whatever you call that. It's like shouting at you. You are the thing that is important to you. This new person doesn't even matter. What's important is this thing that you want, this abundance, this growth, this prosperity, it's within your hands. It's within your grasp. You already have it. You already have what you need. So this person is pretty much, you have to look at the partner that you have in your life as, how do I say this? I think it's significant that you wear a precious ring when you get engaged to somebody. And you can almost think of that person as like a precious ring. But you don't need to have a ring on your body. You don't need to have jewelry on your body to have value. But when you add a precious ring to yourself, you add this accessory, but it's a meaningful one. It's significant. It represents a commitment. But if you take the ring off, you're still you. If you put it back on, you just have this beautiful, meaningful sign or symbol of your commitment to loving someone in the physical. Without it, you're still you. And I think that that's a very strong message for you to keep in mind right now with this current person. There could be a little bit of a message here that is saying that your value, you might be a higher value than this person. And you might find that out in this dynamic. One of the things that always happens when you are of higher value in with another relationship is that they immediately can't keep it up. They just metaphorically and actually, but they can't keep up with you and they kind of fade away. A lot of times we'll take that personally, as in it suggested that there was something about us that they didn't like. And to that I can say what they didn't like is that they didn't feel that they could hold a candle to you. They didn't feel that they could bring the same level of value because they didn't have the same level of value. And then that will kind of fade away. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen with this person. I'm just saying, remember that you are so precious yourself without the ring, right? Like you're already precious. And that person is already precious too. Like they are precious. They are worthy of all of what they are creating. And sometimes you're just at different levels of your journey, but you are enough. And I think if you keep coming back to that, I am enough, then your relationship is going to be very satisfying and fulfilling. And you may have a long-term commitment there. You may have the ability to have an offer of, this is a wife card. You could have that engagement, but only if you remember your own value. I think that's really important for you to keep in mind. I love that energy, actually. Hi, Jindy. Awesome. You want a deeper reading today? Thank you so much. Also, I'm really appreciating these donations. I'm getting close to my goal, which I do not want to pay a fucking late fee. I've been so good about it this whole month. And what happened is I had to go take my son to Massachusetts and back, and it was like $200, like extra from my budget that I just don't have a lot of wiggle room. I gotta stop talking differently. I gotta start talking differently about my finances. But it's also like, you have to like express that you do need support in some ways, but then navigate that in a way that's not like suggesting that you have lack. It's so hard to do it. I always feel like I'm like, please. And I don't want to feel that. Like that's why I really like the subscriber option. I just like the idea that you subscribe to me, you support me, and then I can just read cards for you, and I don't have to be like, please click this and that. And I hate it so much. I just wish that the universe would give me a salary that was like independent of what I do on TikTok, so I could just do what I love to do, which is read cards for people, sing, and have a good time, and then just know that my expenses were covered. Your wiggle room wiggles out. I feel that so much. Okay, so Jindy, I will do a deeper reading for you, and then if you just let me clarify, you did want one right now live. It was sometimes if people pay with PayPal on my website, it'll show up. So if you booked a private one, it will be at the scheduled time. But if it was just now that you sent it to do one now, I'll do it for you. And I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Okay, so we got Heather's card. Nicole, did you want a reading today too, babes? And there's Lindsay also. Any of my subscribers who would like a 2-card reading, let me know. And Jindy, do you have a specific question for your deeper reading? I'm going to do Housewives Tarot and good old Light Seers Tarot. Okay, so this reading that I'm going to do is, it's like if you book the 15-minute reading on my site, it looks like this reading. And I basically do, I do 3 headspace cards and 3 heart space cards. Is the life coming back? I'm dead. Okay, and Nicole, I will definitely, I'll grab your cards in just a minute. I'm gonna shuffle for this deeper reading, and then I'll come back to do the 2 cards after this. Okay. Is he coming back? The age-old question. All right, and let me grab your second deck here. Clarify with the heart space. Ooh, decisions. So when I answer a question like this, it's not like I'm like opening up this book of fate and reading your fate. It's that I'm looking at what your current thoughts and feelings are about this potential. Oh my God, this reading, stop. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna do the 2-card pulls for Nicole and Lindsay, just so that they don't have to wait through your reading, if that's okay, just because I just did your reading, but I can't wait to get into your reading. So hi, welcome. Okay, let me grab Lindsay's card, and then I'll grab Nicole's. So, or 2 cards rather. So for Lindsay, oh, okay. Very interesting, Lindsay. We've got the 2 of Swords for you. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is like all that material fulfillment. This is also the Cupid and Psyche, which we read at length when I first started this reading, or the collective reading for today. The 2 of Swords is about being at a standstill, but feeling at peace because you don't have to make a decision. So it's like, it's kind of a card of avoidance. Usually you go within. It's not a negative. Every card is negative and positive things about it. It's not entirely negative energy. Sometimes surrendering your choice is the best thing that you can do. It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to surrender it. Now that can call in a tower sometimes, but as you get more and more comfortable on your spiritual journey, towers are less and less destabilizing. You know, you get kind of hit with some energy and you start to have this insight where you're like, oh, well, I know what this is about, and I can release whatever it's asking me to release, and I know I'll be okay. So towers get less and less frightening after a while. At first you're just like, oh God, I have to have another major event that's like, but then eventually you're just like, well, you know, this tells me where I need to go. That's what I needed. So there is some freedom that comes with this energy of the Two of Swords, where you're just sort of like, I don't know which decision to make. So I'm going to surrender that decision. So I do think that there is some kind of a choice that's being made. I'm seeing masculine energy too. Cupid comes back to Psyche. Like, he decides to come back to Psyche after getting upset with her. And then we're seeing this material abundance, prosperity, happiness. And I have felt a huge shift in the energy in the last couple of days, probably from the full moon release, where this story of waiting and waiting is really done. I think that it's either you're going to be like, I'm choosing to go towards what makes me really happy in the material, in the physical world, instead of living so much in the spiritual world, or your person is going to make that decision. You know, either way, actually, let me rephrase that. You are going to make that decision. And when you make that decision, your person is likely to make that decision. And if the decision for your person to have material happiness includes you, then they will come and tell you about it. And if it doesn't, then you will already be pursuing what makes you happy because you make the decision to do that. And it won't bother you so much because you'll start to feel everything that you were seeking through that relationship. You'll feel coming from your own actions, inspired actions, and then you'll see it reflected back to you in your relationships that are coming through. So beautiful energy for you. I love that. And then Nicole, let me just grab your cards. Get my 2 cards for Nicole. After this, I'm going to be doing Jindy's reading, which is a $33 reading. If you would like a full-length reading today, that is the price. You can also book a private one so that you can have the pre-recording of it. I will post this on YouTube later too if you want to go back and watch your own readings. And then if you just want a 2-card reading, you just go ahead and subscribe to my channel and I will read 2 cards. And then just as you see here, anybody who comes to a live, I try to give you your 2-card reading. Oh, I love you too. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get it for Nicole. What's going on? Man, Cupid and Psyche today. They have come out over and over, which is just so interesting. Wow, repeat cards. I don't know if y'all saw the TikTok reading I just posted, but it was like the 5 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and the 2 of Cups. I just got the 7 of Swords and the 2 of Cups. So it's a totally different deck. So you're definitely in my collective, Nicole. If we were doubting it, well, you know, I don't think you were. Okay, but this again, it's everything we talked about at the very beginning of this reading. If you did miss the beginning of the reading, when it goes up on YouTube, I also did a heart chakra activation with rose quartz and a candle. So you can go and do that activation with me if you missed it. And you can also see just the initial 3-card reading that I did. But I talked about Cupid and Psyche, and their whole relationship is really about trust, right? She doesn't trust at first that Cupid is really who he says he is. She checks and sees. He gets burnt when she does that. He's literally burnt, like he's butt sore and like, wow, you didn't trust me. He flies off. I can't believe you didn't trust me kind of energy. Eventually he comes back. The 7 of Swords is about the deception. It's about the mental conflict. And for me, the 7 of Swords is about the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Swords together. The 2 of Swords, which we just talked about, the inability to make a decision or avoiding making a decision. And the 5 of Swords being internal conflict. So someone has been avoiding making a decision for a long time. And you have sort of been trying to figure out how to get to this 2 of Cups that you're seeking. So probably someone that you focused on has not been making a decision, and part of you within yourself has been not choosing to go and try to find a connection. Okay, but what I'm seeing is a change in the energy. Like I said, this full moon release is really bringing in this shift, which is this willingness to figure out a way to have love in your life in the physical, rather than it's just something that's ethereal or spiritual or 5D or whatever. We're kind of like, okay, you know, I love that for us, but we did this whole thing where we incarnated in the physical so that we were in the physical. So I think like I want to actually experience that. I don't want to just have like the mental version of it or the imaginative version of it. So you're trying to figure it out. And this can also indicate a surprising meeting, like a surprising meetup, an unexpected thing. So it could be your person unexpectedly shows up, or you unexpectedly run into someone that you didn't even realize was going to bring love into your life, or someone in your life that you don't expect is like suddenly going to be like, hey, how do you feel about making this a more romantic thing? Like something like that could happen. That's definitely the energy from those two cards. I love that for you. All right, let me get to Jindy's reading. Which I can't even believe the energy of this reading. Okay, so Jindy, back to you. This is the $33 reading. If anyone else wants this reading, there's a link in my profile. You can send through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, and I will do a deep reading like this for you. Or you can go to my website, book a private one, and I will send you the recording of it at the time that's you choose. Oh, just a side note on that. If you go to my website and you don't see any appointments available that work or a time that work for you, unless you are scheduling a $111 reading, all of the other readings that are available are just pre-recorded. So you don't have to meet up with me at that time. I will just send you your reading at that time. If you are scheduling a $111 in-person or virtual reading, the time does matter. You do have to show up at that time. If none of the times work, book a 15-minute free consultation, and you and I will talk and we'll figure out a time that works. That's the best that's the best option I have, because then we can call each other and I can be like, you can tell me what works for you and I can see what's better. It's so much easier than emailing back and forth. So if you try to schedule a one-on-one with me and nothing seems to work, just do the 15-minute consultation, and put in the notes, like, because obviously you have to choose a time that doesn't work for you. Put in the notes the time that's okay for me to call you, and I will try to call you at that time so that we can find a good time to block out an hour. That's the best thing I have for that. Okay, we're starting out here. In your head, you wanted to know, is he coming back to life? And we have literally the card about coming back to life. This is the it's Judgment card, the Reconciliation card. Obviously in this deck it's just a female as a piece of meat on a scale, which I love this deck so much. But if we saw this card from other decks, there's like the angels and there's like the resurrection, and it literally is like you think he's coming back to life. So that's good, because if that's what you think, that's what's likely to happen. You feel that you are going to experience this relationship, that you are going to reconcile, and that you are going to experience the love that you have been seeking. So overall energy, yes. This is major card and a major card. So when you ask a question, is he coming back to life? The answer is yes, he is. Now we can just go into a little bit more detail about that, but 100% you do think and feel that. However, underlying all your thoughts and decisions regarding this thing that you do believe in, we see the Knight of Wands and the Three of Swords. So we get now a sense of why you feel intimidated by the potential for him to wake up. You fear in the back of your mind, and this is what you need to clean up in order to have a smooth transition into this next cycle with this person. You fear that he is still going to be childish, that he's still going to be inconsistent, hot and cold, and that you may still end up getting your heart hurt, or you might make a decision that hurts yourself regarding his sexual energy, or he might do that. there's just a fear there that's underlying. That's like, yeah, I know he's coming back, but is it going to hurt again? Is he going to be inconsistent, ineffective, inefficient? Is he going to be just all about his sexual energy, invite in other energy again? Is he going to hurt me? Okay. So that's what needs to be worked out and cleaned up before this can kind of go according to plan. But to have your head and heart fully thinking and believing, and then kind of seeing what's subconsciously blocking you, that's like a really powerful information to have. So let's just go through the rest of the reading and see what we got. We have the Two of Cups. This is where you've been, okay? This is my past placement. Two of Cups clarified by the Two of Pentacles. So you have been going back and forth, and it seems eternal. Like it seems like a cycle that's never ending. And it could be so fulfilling, and like you want the physical meetup, but what happens is like what goes up must come down. There's that sense that you've been struggling with that. We see here this energetic pentacle, and then we see this purse in the physical. So there's like this prosperity that you know is definitely possible, but then there's like the reality of the abundance in the real world. And so it's like believing that you can have abundance, but needing to see it in order for it to manifest physically. And you're so close to, and remember, this is what you've been working on. So in your past self was always so close to being able to get it to physically come together. And there's just those little niggling things that would kind of just undermine you. Very frustrating energy. It's what we try to work when we do releases, when we do heart chakra openings, when we try to just undo that programming. That is what we're working on, those underlying fears. Present energy, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups, very guarded, but loving yourself. And so your boundaries are up because you love yourself. So I can't fault you for your boundaries, and I don't think they're placed ineffectively or for no reason. I think that they are effective in sort of helping you to protect your peace and protect the love that you have for yourself. And when we do this, I don't think our person realizes we're also protecting our love for them. Because if we keep allowing them to come in and act like an idiot, it deteriorates the love we feel. But maintaining a healthy boundary with that person, keeping them from engaging in the cyclic behaviors and patterns that were very triggering or hurtful or wounding, it actually preserves the loving feelings we have for them. So it's good for both you and your person to have maintained these boundaries. I'm also seeing the Eight of Swords as a prison of the mind. But because it's coming out with the Queen of Cups, who is very psychic and intuitive, I'm not so afraid that the thoughts you're having, those little like, is he going to be a player though? Is he just going to be, is he not going to stick around for it? I'm seeing that you keep tuning back into your heart. So you're not letting your thoughts keep you stuck. And I actually really, I think that's awesome. Here's your outcome. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. It's gonna take some more time. And the reasons are clear because we still have those lingering fears, right, in the back of the mind there, and the little feeling in the heart space. So that has to be worked on a little bit. And the rushing that you kind of want to rush it a little bit. And the only reason we want to rush it is because we just know it's inevitable. It's a feeling of like, God, I know that we're going to be together. So it's just, why can't we just be together and then work on this stuff, right? But the blessing of separation is that you can maintain this focus. Part of the reason I'm doing the 24-hour virtual retreat is so that you can give yourself 24 hours of uninterrupted me time. Like part of the prerequisite of buying that ticket is that you're going to make an agreement that you are going to carve out the time. You're going to tell your family members that you live with, I need absolute privacy on this day for 24 hours. And if they can't give you that, that is a sign that your family members are not supportive of you. And there are some real questions you might want to ask yourself at that point about your living situation and about, you know, what you can do to like make sure that you have a sacred space for your self-love to flourish. So I think you're doing all the right things in this present moment. Maintain your boundaries with this person. Work on feelings that you need to rush the time, because you don't need to rush something that's solid, stable, and reliable. It's going to come in. It's going to be, you're not going to have a question. You're going to feel very secure about it because you're going to have worked out your insecurities. And my main thing I'm seeing here is that the biggest hurdle right now is believing in his steady progress while not hearing communication about it. And that's kind of what you're most challenged with right now. And I feel you on that. And I think, you know, remembering not to check the social media too much, giving yourself some rules about it. It's really hard. I experienced the same kind of, you know, like I have to check sort of energy. Remember that every time you see something that is like a vague reference to your situation, it gives you a dopamine hit. And that is like, you know, being on drugs. And so you crave that hit and you want that. But just like being on drugs, it doesn't actually end up giving you anything physical that you can grow and expand with. It's just that fleeting moment that, you know, you're going to need again in order to stay charged up. But it's okay to have a glass of wine once in a while. It's okay to have a moderate amount of like dopamine hits. But if you are checking your social media every second to see what they're saying, that's when you're hedging into the devil card energy. It's also showing that you feel a lot of doubt about, you know, what's going on. Whereas you can't just trust, like, remember, Psyche has to trust in Cupid. Thank you so much for joining and sending gifts. I appreciate that. Hi, Texas, honey. How are you, babes? Let's pull your mindset card, Jindy. I've got your spirit animal oracle. Oh my gosh, this is it's just so perfect. Okay, so your spirit animal oracle right now is frog spirit. Clear out the clutter. And right away, before even reading this card to you, the clutter I know is this. This is the clutter. What was in the back of your mind? The fear, right? This is just a little bit of clearing that needs to happen in regards to your person's energy. Let's see, this is number 28. This reading is fire. Like, I'm gonna claim this reading. I think it's really good. Frog spirit knows that while all the other frogs are croaking away, this is a time for you to simplify and declutter your life so you can feel content on your own lily pad. Even when life isn't creating a total cacophony, we can become drawn to the excitement of lots of noise. Then, the next thing we know, our schedules and homes are cluttered with commitments we regret making and objects taking up valuable space. Even relationships need decluttering, as they often become messy. Frog spirit appears to tell you to clean house, prioritize what you need, and get rid of or give away the rest so you can have some space in your day and in your head. You don't need the old stuff and its stories shouting at you about the past. Along with physical clutter, friendships are sometimes kept long past their expiration date, weighing you down with unnecessary baggage. Now is the time to let go. Whatever you need will appear when you need it, so release your grip on all that clutter that is making you feel anxious and burdened. Frog spirit wants you to reclaim your space unencumbered by shoulds, oughts, and could have beens. Let go and jump. You are free from all that old stuff. Wow, I love that. That's a gorgeous message for you. Okay, and then I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. So resist the fear. Resist the fear. Understand that your ego is just trying to keep you safe. It's trying to prepare you for things it's experienced before. But it's unfortunately when it does that, it creates that. So when your ego starts to get hyped up and is like, I don't know, I'm not sure. You just need to be like, hey, look, I know this happened to you before. I know it did. Talking to yourself is a wise thing to do. See, we are on the fringes of society. People will think we're nuts, but we actually feel more calm and balanced than the rest of them because we do these things. You say your name to yourself and you say, you know, like for me, like, Pearl, listen, I know you've had this experience before, but just because you have this experience like once, twice, thrice, it doesn't mean it's going to happen every single time. There's always room for change and growth. Think about how much you've changed and how much you've grown. Think about how you've, you know, I recently had an exchange with one of my cousins. It was a little, we haven't talked in many years, and we were trying to connect, to have just a phone conversation. And I'm highly scheduled. Like, my life is very scheduled, and I have to do that because I have executive functioning disorder. And if I don't write things down or prioritize them, I might not do them. And also, for some reason, I have avoidance for phone calls. It takes me a little while to work up to them. So we just kind of had this little rocky exchange initially, trying to talk to each other. And then I just was like, oh, I'm going to just be so honest, and I'm not going to make excuses, but I'm just going to clarify like how I feel. And then she wrote back this amazing thing, and she was like, wow, I really respect your honesty. And isn't it funny that we were like trying to talk, and then we've learned so much about each other through this whole experience. And so just really, you know, you can change. Like, you can change how you interact with others. And if you can change by the law, like by the law of attraction, of assumption, of reflection, of polarity, your counterpart can change. So just keep giving yourself those pep talks and choose love. And just, you know, maybe the way I like to think about fear is we don't have to hate fear. There's no reason to hate fear. We can look at it as just this protective thing that developed within us. We can thank the fear for showing us the things that we need to work on, and just, you know, soothe it and be like, it's okay. You don't have to be so anxious. I'm glad you do this all the time. I'm glad you all talk to yourself. You should all talk to yourself. Like, they might put me away in it someday, but, you know, we'll all be together there. All right. Is there anybody else who would like a 2-card reading or a $33 reading today? If you would like a $33 reading like the one I just did, you can click the link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, and I will get going on that reading for you. You can also book private readings. They start at $33 and go all the way up to $111. The $111 is for a virtual session, so we can see each other and talk to each other during the reading. You can also actually have that pre-recorded as well. It's just for an hour-long reading. So if you want an hour-long reading but you don't want to have to interact with me, you can still book that same session, and I'll send a pre-recorded version, but it does give you the option to actually talk to me in person. You're welcome. Thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. I really appreciate it. You caught the end and it was great. Good. This is also going to be on YouTube later. For those of you that just showed up, I highly recommend watching this on YouTube later tonight. I did a heart chakra opening little thing using the full moon energy. So if you're interested in going through that with me later, grab a candle and something pink. If you have a rose quartz, great. If not, just something pink. Or you can just visualize it. You don't have to have it. And then I will, and then you can go along with that heart chakra opening. It'll be at the very beginning of the replay. So I'll put that up later. And Texas Honey, do you want 2 cards, babes? And is there anyone else who I didn't get who's a subscriber who would like 2 cards? Hi, Wendy, 101010101010. Oh. I like that. That's on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Moi. All right, let's see. Oh, you know what? That's one placement. You actually got 2 cards in the first placement, but that's okay. For those of you that have been at this this reading, you're going to appreciate the fact that I just pulled more Cupid and Psyche cards. Like, right now, the story of Cupid and Psyche is the story of the divine connection. That's all I can say. So in your first placement, you got the Ace of Swords, which I actually pulled at the very beginning of this reading today. And the Queen of Pentacles, which I pulled for someone else. I just, like, it's just nuts. Like, I completely shuffle my deck. I don't understand. Okay. And then the Seven of Swords, which I also pulled for someone else. Okay. So, since this is like this when it first dropped and then reveals this card underneath, it's like the truth is being revealed of who you are, your worth, your value, what you bring to the table. So this is either somebody is getting clarity about you, or likely they are doing that because you finally have clarity about yourself. You're also envisioning like this future version of self that's established. Like, I think you're doing a good job of like visualizing who you really want to be. But the only way that we can become that is if we appreciate something now. I was telling my brother about this phenomenon. He said he had a decent time at his job the other day. And I was like, oh, you're probably going to leave soon. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because as soon as you find reasons to like your job, as soon as you get comfortable in your job, that's when the energy shifts for you to go where you want to go. Because you can't go there until you appreciate the present moment, because you can't go somewhere that you're going to appreciate if you don't appreciate right now. And so I told him that, and he was like, that's stupid. And I'm like, it is stupid. It's really stupid. And then yesterday, he was going to get his hair cut in the morning, and he decided not to go. And I asked him, I was like, oh, did you not have time? He's like, no, I could have gone. But he's like, I don't know, my hair actually looked really good. And I said, I told you. And like, when your hair looks really good and you don't even want to cut it, that's like when you end up getting to go get your hair cut. And he was laughing. But I do think this is true. I think you're finding a lot to appreciate about yourself. And because of that, you're able to create this even higher level version of self, right? And then what's coming up after that is the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords is about trying to get away with something, but it's also about finding a plan, having a plan or a strategy. And it can be about avoiding making a decision because of a mental conflict. We see Cupid sleeping here, and Psyche kind of trying to get away with, this is where probably the moment where she's going to check and see if he's actually the one that she wants. Also, how did your date go? Or is it tonight? I can't remember when your date is. So there is this energy of you trying to figure out if the masculine energy is actually like, is he actually going to get up? Is he actually going to awaken to your value and to your worth? So I think it's kind of like, I don't want to make a choice until I know for sure whether or not this masculine energy is going to awaken to who I truly am. So interesting. It's tonight. Okay. Very, very interesting. So, and it could be that too, like kind of having a plan or a strategy of like how to reveal your worth or value to somebody. And to that, I can say, just be yourself. One thing about Leos is we always surround ourselves with the best. So I just assume that all of y'all are the best, and you should too. Watching the sunset. Oh, I love that. That's literally going to be so fun. Just be so present and really enjoy yourself tonight. And, don't worry too much about whether this person is really going to truly awaken to you, because the truth is the person who is meant for you absolutely will. And there won't be anything you need to do to get them to see that. It's just going to be something they see immediately. I know that when my person saw me, he saw me immediately, because we stopped and everything around us like just wasn't, there was no, somebody coughed before we looked away from each other, like a movie. Like somebody was like, and then we were like, oh. We didn't know each other at all. I mean, I knew him as a celebrity, but so they'll see your value. That's not going to be something you need. There's nothing you need to do to get this person to see how much you're worth. I just saw somebody say something about my divine masculine letter here. Oh, yes, that you saw my letter in your life. How are you doing, Meg? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. All right, if there's no other subscribers who would like a 2-card reading, I think I might wind this up because I have to get ready for my 3 o'clock that I have with my bassist. We're going to hang out and probably avoid actually doing anything because we're good at that. Then at the end I'll be like, we didn't even sing the thing. It was a lot easier for me when I lived in Los Angeles because he would come over from like 3 and stay until like 7 or 8 p.m. So we would just have like all this time that we could fuck around and not actually do anything. And then like at the last hour be like, okay, we should like actually rehearse. But now that it's virtual, we only have like a couple hours. I'm like, we didn't rehearse again. But I love my Andrew. I love him so much. He's such a sweetheart. Okay, everybody, I think I'm going to head out. I will be putting this replay on YouTube if you missed it. Didn't get to see it. No worries there. You'll be able to see it tonight. It'll probably take me a few hours to get it to upload, but it should be there by tonight at the very latest or early in the morning. If it is there by tonight and you didn't do the heart chakra activation, you might want to do it in the full moon just because it makes it more special for you, not because it's like, I don't know. It's not like it's going to be like a rule, like you have to do it like that. It just makes it special. So if you want to do it later tonight when you can see the moon, if you can, wherever you are, I welcome that because it does have an Isis prayer in it and she is the goddess of the moon. See you tomorrow. Have the best day, everybody, and take care. Thank you so much. You are amazing. You're amazing for supporting me, everybody. Bye.